Hey guys, come on in. Hey guys, are you enjoying this education of how to become a homeowner and more importantly, how to stay a homeowner? Okay, we're talking about the fifth tenant right now, which is always overlooked. It's always shocking for people. They don't understand it. So hopefully I could break it down for you. When you close on a house, you're going to be expected to bring what's called cash to close. That's a combination of your down payment and closing costs. People always forget about closing costs or don't know about it, don't know how that works, or just anticipate somebody paying it for them. What are closing costs? Closing costs are factors of both prepaids, which we'll get into, and lender and attorney and processing fees. So you go to close on a house, you have your down payment. We talked about in other videos, if you're looking at 3 or 3.5% off a $200,000 house, looking at $6,000 or $7,000 for down payment, right? You think, oh, okay, I got that. I'm good to go. Well, no. There's a cost to borrow money from a lender. There's called origination fees, processing fees, underwriting fees, sending deeds and titles to the courthouse, all these type of fees. And then you have attorney fees. You have to have an attorney, process your title. They need to process all these documents. They got to get paid themselves, right? You go to a closing table, you go to a closing attorney's office. I could say in general from experience, it's going to range from like $550 to about $750, might be higher depending on the attorney for their fees. You're going to have court fees, court filing fees, underwriter fees, which is somebody that's helping process your loan, origination fees from the lender. Those are, I went to a closing yesterday, and because it was tied to the builder and it was the same lender that the builder, same company, it was as low as 0.375, really low. But most lenders is going to be 1% or 2% origination fees. So you do the math on that. On a $200,000 loan, 1% of that, $2,000. So you can see how it starts to add up. You'll see all kinds of court documented fees, title insurance, all these other things that I really don't have time to break down in this video, but a lender, one of our lenders, can give you what's called a good faith estimate to let you know what those estimated fees are. So that's just one set. The other set is what's called prepaids. That is an escrow account. That is basically dependent on the county or city that you're living in. I can't give you a firm number. You can go on, the lender will be able to give you a better idea once you have the address of the house that you're thinking about putting in an offer in. But you could go to a Douglas County, Fulton County, Gwinnett, Cherokee, Cobb, DeKalb, all the big counties, Clayton, that are in greater Atlanta, Paulding County. And you can look at what's called their millage rate. And it's going to give you how much that county is charging you on your property, your appraised value, your lot, the value of your land. And you have to pay property taxes on the home that you own. So that's going to vary depending on if you're in an incorporated area, an unincorporated area, your city and county millage rates. But in general, you're looking at 1%, 1.112, 1.15, up to maybe 1.3, 1.5, 1.6 in the higher areas. If you're living in the heart of Atlanta or the heart of a very highly desirable school district, why the schools are probably pretty good is that they have money that's invested into those schools, right? So you say, I want to live in the best school district or top, there's a top 10, I want to live in the 9 or 10 school district. There is a price to pay for that, property value wise and property tax wise. So when you go to the closing table, they're setting up that escrow account because you're not paying those property taxes when they come due in October in Georgia. You're going to get a tax bill typically in May or June, which is sent to the escrow department of your mortgage lender who's holding your mortgage lender. And that's part of your mortgage payment that you're paying. You're paying principal interest, property taxes, homeowners insurance, and possibly private mortgage insurance. HOA, homeowners association, is usually paid separately on a monthly, quarterly, yearly basis. Your mortgage payment, what you're paying, is into this escrow account. Well, they need to set that up. Depending on what time of year you're closing, in the summer, you're closing right around that October timeframe, they need to collect and set up that fund. So you're looking at 10 months, 12 months worth of reserves. So if your property taxes are $4,000, they might collect that whole $4,000 at closing, or at least 10 months of that. Homeowners insurance, you need it in case of a hurricane, acts of God, they call it, acts of nature. Hurricane, tornado, fire, right? Your belongings inside, what would it cost to rebuild that house? So say that's $1,200 or $1,500 a year. They're gonna fund that for the full year. So you can see how that adds up. So that's why we tell people your closing costs are about 3 to 4%, 3.5% on average in addition. So you just saw on an FHA $200,000 mortgage, that's $7,000 down payment. That's also another potential $7,000 in closing costs for those prepaids and all the attorney fees and all that. Now, where we come in as the experts, as a mortgage broker and real estate agents, and why we tell you to go through the mortgage pre-approval process, is because you might be comfortable with the payment, you might be comfortable with the down payment, but you do not have that extra money. So you might have saved, say $10,000 for cash to close. Well, you're $4,000 short. That is something the lender needs to know. That's something we as real estate agents need to know and real estate brokers need to know. So when we're negotiating, we're going to that new home community, that $200,000 house, we could say to them, in order to close on this, or they might offer, we're going to give you $5,000 towards your closing cost. Well, you have $10,000. That $14,000 minus $5,000 that they're going to give you, now you have $9,000 that you need to bring to cash to close. If it's a resale home, $200,000, it's a hot market. That seller is not willing to give you that $4,000 that you need. You can't close on that house. You're going to have to go to the next house. And it's a disappointing thing, but it is not a guarantee that the builder, you have a better chance that they're going to give you some kind of incentive towards your closing costs if you use their lender, but it's not guaranteed. Because think about it. You're the builder, or one day you're a homeowner and you're going to want to sell your house. After commissions and all that kind of stuff for selling your house, you're going to want to profit, right? So if you're going to walk away with a $25,000 profit and the borrower needs $5,000, are you really going to want to give away your $25,000 profit for a $20,000 profit? Depends on your situation. If you just need to get rid of it, or you want to get rid of it and move on to the next one, or the $20,000 is enough for you the next house you want. But do not count on it. So I'm not saying that you need to save up all that $14,000, but you need that information to know that if you got $10,000 saved, that you're only going to be able to buy that house if the builder or that seller is going to help you with some of your down payment. And that's our job, and that's our negotiation ability to see and to make that work for you. Shoot, we might ask for them to pay that whole $7,000, and they might be willing to do it. And then you have that extra couple $1,000s to furnish your house. So remember, guys, down payment and closing costs are combined what's going to be your cash to close, and why it's imperative, super, super important to get what's called a good faith estimate, to estimate, once you have an idea of the county and all that kind of stuff and the address, the lender is going to be able to pull up the tax records to give you an estimate on what your prepaid taxes are, your homeowner's insurance, obviously in addition to your down payment to bring to the table for cash to close. So hopefully that is very informative to you. We're going to talk about the last thing that really is important, not only just to qualify for the house, but to stay in the house, reserves. So stay tuned, and hopefully you got a lot out of this topic of closing costs. We'll talk to you soon.